Hey guys! Today I would like to recommend to you a book that I read and really enjoyed called How I Live Now by Meg Rosoff. And as you can see by this little gold medallion, it is a Printz Award winner for Young Adult Novel Excellence. The story is about a 15-year-old girl named Daisy who has lived her entire life in New York City with her dad and her evil stepmother, but she is now being forced to move to England with her 4 cousins and aunt, all of whom she has never met. And she's a little bit peeved, you know? Why should she have to leave? When she gets there, this is her reaction. The first thing I did was to check my phone for messages, but all it said was, no network. And I thought, oh boy, so much for civilization. And I felt a little freaked out and thought of that movie where they say, no one can hear you scream. But then I went over to the window and looked out, and there was the slightest bit of pink light over to one side where the sun must have just started coming up, and a totally quiet gray mist hung over the barn, and the gardens and the fields, and everything was perfectly still and beautiful, and I stared and stared, expecting to see a deer, or maybe a unicorn, trotting home after a hard night, but I didn't see anything except some birds. I felt too shy to come out of my room, so I stayed there and thought about my old home, which unfortunately led to thinking about Davina the Diabolical, who sucked my father's soul out through his you-know-what, and then got herself knocked up with the devil's spawn, which, when it pops out, Leah and I are going to call Damien, even if it's a girl. According to my best friend Leah, Dee the D would have liked to poison me slowly till I turned black and swelled up like a pig and died in agony, but I guess that plan flopped when I refused to eat anything, and in the end she got me sent off to live with a bunch of cousins I'd never met a few thousand miles away, while she and Dad and the devil's spawn went on their merry way. If she was making even the slightest attempt to address centuries of bad press for stepmothers, she scored a big fat 0. After spending a little bit of time with her cousins, Daisy finds a love attraction, which is pretty interesting, and she also realizes that she loves being around her cousins. Of course, things don't last great for very long, because a war breaks out, and it causes lots and lots of havoc, and it also separates the cousins. Now, if you want to know what happens, you have to read. So I hope you do, and enjoy!